Yes, yes, you did. Um, which I mean, at the moment, you don't see anything, but you know that the fight that you just had was very loud, especially with her firing her weapon and stuff like that. So so you don't know that. I mean, there's nobody around you at this very moment, but you don't know how much longer that is likely to last. It may. Yep. And let's see. I think I can make her into. Can you guys double click on her or no? She certainly does have a lot on her. It's unusual. That is also unusual. Lots of unusual things to be found. Well, no, it's below 3 ounces. All right. So as you guys are here, and as you're taking a couple of rounds to search through her body and go through all that stuff, the sound is getting louder and louder, as it sounds like there may be a mob headed your way. You can't really tell for certain at the moment. Just know that there is a mob headed your way. You just suffice it to say that you could say, I'm moving in the opposite direction of the mob, and that will be fine. I'll say, yeah, because there there were the couple of bridges across, one that was destroyed, one that was intact, and one that was a little hinky, that you guys went ahead and sabotaged a little bit. And so you can certainly head in that direction if you would so desire. All right. So we we are going to enter into the escape, or the get out of town obstacle. You guys remember obstacles and what that means. It has not yet, because you haven't ended the infiltration. You're at the very tail stages of it. So, we are going to do a get out of town obstacle. I will let you guys know right now that you have 1 round. So basically, each person has an action. If they succeed in the action, and all 4 of you guys succeed, you will escape the town. If you don't, then something will happen. And of course, the macro doesn't work. This will play ambience of an undead mob. And of course, it still doesn't work. Mm-hmm. All right. So from here, basically, I will need each character to either make an athletics check, a deception check, a society check, or a stealth check. In order to use one of those checks, and let me go ahead and put them in the chat, so that way you can see what the 4 different checks are. In order for you to use one of those, you have to tell me what it is that you were doing with that check in order to try to use it to escape. Because I would like to know, it's not just going to be, I make an athletics check. No, what are you doing? I'm running across the bridge. I'm, diving and sprinting and da-da-da. I'm using deception. We have our disguises that are on. As some of the mob comes in, we point down another alleyway and say they went that way. That kind of thing is what I'm looking for in order to use the check. Fantastic. All right, then you may go ahead and make an athletics check. I would say so, because you guys had your fight basically right at the end of it, and no... Yeah, because really, I'll say the haste would probably be expired, but the heroism would probably still be in effect if it's a 10-minute thing. No, it is not a good roll. All right, so you're going to run for the bridge. No, you are not out of hero points because the game restarted. Oh, I should probably reset all of the hero points. Oh, no. It's a D20, so hero points are always acceptable. Ooh, that is a much better roll. Yeah, and everybody should be at 1 hero point. I can't get it to... The thing isn't popping up for me at the moment, so I'm just going to go ahead and reset. Yeah. All right, so everybody else is at 1 hero point. All right. And so you successfully run to the bridge. However, I need a reflex save. Ooh, that is a success. So, you only take half, as does everybody else. The damage I just rolled. So, as you're running across, you explode the bridge. And so when you did the bridge, you guys got a success on it, not a critical success. So you rigged the bridge to collapse, but as you are running across it, you are going to take some damage as it sets off and as it crumbles. So everybody is going to take just a little bit of damage. I say a little bit, but it hurts a little bit for a Misra, but that was half. Yeah, it was 4d8 plus 18. But I will say, as you ran across the bridge, you see that some of the mob makes it over the bridge after you, but it does, as it tumbles down, it does take out a whole bunch of people, and now they cannot follow you on that path, but there are still some behind you. So you have made your way out of your option to get out. Juliana, what would you like to do to try to get out? All right. So, sure, let me give you a Misra for now. Because, I'll say, yeah, you probably already have Kurz. Hold on, and I am going to go ahead and give you some ownership over it for now. It basically, yeah. You should be able to double click on Amisra now. Use it just like you would. The main difference is just make sure that whoever is making the check for you is the one that you're clicked on. So, for example, for when Amisra makes her check, just make sure that that is the token that you are clicked on before you make a roll, and that will do it for you. Knowing how a town would generally be designed. Yeah, gotcha. Yep, that very valid. Go ahead. Well, bear in mind, you guys have been in a long fight. You didn't click on the society one up above, did you? Yeah. I'll say, or I can post it again for you if you want me to. Very good. Yeah, you definitely wanted to re-roll that. So there you go. Clicking that. Using your knowledge of how a town would be built out and to where narrow points would be and wide areas would be, you are able to use your society knowledge to help keep you guys ahead of the mob. Now, who would like to go next? Can't aid, but yeah, go. So you can't aid in this, but you can certainly do it. Yes, you can do a society check just the same way. Yeah. Yeah, she is not really built for running, mob battles. That's not what she's here for. It's very different for her. All right. That is a success. It wouldn't because you rolled over 10. But either way, that was a success. I will tell you, previously, it was a failure. So it was a good use of your hero point. So now we have 3 successes that have occurred. I need 1 more. So how would Kurz like to help the party to escape? Here. I posted athletics back up there for you. While the rest of you guys run ahead and... Mm-hmm. Go monkey, go monkey, go. Go monkey, go monkey, go. That is a success. So that is 4 successes. So congratulations. You were able to flee the town without having to get into a fight. As you successively went along, you guys ran over the bridge. You managed to dissuade a whole bunch of them by the bridge falling down in between you and them. A couple were still chasing you. Chuck led you down some alleys. And Troy continued to lead you guys down some alleys, keeping you away. There were still 1 or 2 that were behind you, but with Kurz, bouncing and jumping off of walls and climbing over things, they got distracted by him. The other 3 of you got away, and then he was able to just slip away. And so you guys have escaped the mob, which also means you guys get a certain amount of experience points. Auto assign. Why? Yeah, but the funny thing is, Kurz is showing 80 less experience points than everybody else. Yeah, but everybody else is at 1,085. Yeah, I was like, yeah, that just, I don't know why he's missing 80 experience points, but easy enough to fix, but... Yep. So you guys have successfully defeated Decrosia and have fled Pagked. As you get to the outskirts of town, and as you think you are safe, out of the shadows steps the Shroud. Because if you recall, you guys had a deal with the Shroud. And so now he has come to proffer rewards for the deal that you have made. So you guys have successfully defeated Decrosia. Congratulations. With that done, I will move into taking control of this town away from that usurper. However, I will provide you with some rewards as we agreed upon, provided you promise never to return to Pagked and never to tell anyone where you received your gifts. Who knows? You're like some crazy bastards. Who knows what you're gonna do? All right, on the screen there is the Shroud's reward. In it is a ring of wizardry, type 1, that resembles a skeletal snake eating its own tail, and 250 gold pieces. Who knows? Let's see. If you can cast arcane spells in a variety of different types, you can divide the spell slots as you wish among your variety of sources. While wearing the Ring of Wizardry, you gain a +1 item bonus to Arcana checks and have 2 additional first-level arcane spell slots each day. You prepare spells in these slots or cast them spontaneously just as you normally cast your spells. If you take off the ring for any reason, such as when Kurz cuts it off of you and takes your finger and runs around giddy, then you lose the spell slots. You cannot gain spell slots from more than 1 Ring of Wizardry per day, nor can a single Ring of Wizardry grant spell slots more than once per day. So yeah, you do. You have to have a spellcasting class with arcane traditions in order to craft it. So there you go. That is what the Shroud has provided to you guys. You guys are now the Shroud is eager to take control of Pagked and use his position to elevate himself in the Carter's Consortium. And so the Shroud will be taking over control of Pagked. And now it's really up to you as to what it is that you as a group want to do. You have a number of different options. Go ahead. All right, so let me go ahead and let's activate this sheet for you guys, because you have everything off of your map. So this is back to the map of the area. So you know that down where your characters were at, that was Sallow Shore. Grey Dirge is where your if you want to call it, your Bloodlord sponsor was at. And up in the top right corner, you see Yeled. Do you guys remember anything about Yeled? So being that your other people aren't here with you, I will provide a little bit of a reminder of what Yeled was. You guys found, through the course of your stuff, that wagon that you guys had stopped and found out a little bit more information on the road, had some alchemical supplies that was going to Yeled and the necromancy school there. The Shroud told you that Decrosia had been shipping things to the necromancy school in Yeled. And so, as a logical next place to go, Yeled is probably where you would want to head towards. That is where everything has been leading you towards. Now, bear in mind that there isn't a time crunch on this. There isn't a, we need to do this, right this very moment. So if you guys wanted to go back to Grey Dirge, you wanted to chill out in your home mansion for a little bit, you wanted to check with Berlani, any of that stuff, you're welcome to do so. You don't have to go to Yeled right this very moment. But I mean, so you guys were sent out to kind of track this stuff, and that's where you tracked it to Iron Tavia. and found out that she was part of a coven, and so you followed the coven steps that's where you went to Sallow Shore and Pagked, and so you guys have eliminated multiple members of this coven as you've gone through. Really, all Berlani had told you guys to do at the beginning was to go and investigate Iron Tavia, and you guys have continued to do your investigations beyond here as you've continued to look into where the alchemical stuff and the poisons were coming from. You're assuming that whether it's coming from Yeled, I mean, you know that and stuff was being shipped to Yeled. So again, it makes sense that it makes sense that the next step of your quest would take you to there. But again, there isn't a rush for you guys to get to a place. The closest one would be Great Urge, because you're not going to go back into Pagked. Chances are, if you tried to go back into there, not only would the people try to kill you, but the Shroud probably would take vengeance upon you. Nope, that would be either going back to Grey Dirge, going to Sallow Shore, or going to Yeled. So you guys are, of course, welcome to take a little bit of time if you'd like. I would assume that for the most part, you guys are going to be able to take the time to heal and do all of that stuff. Da, da, da. I need to go look up something while you guys are doing that. Stupid Microsoft Edge that always thinks it needs to be the primary thing. Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. All right, where are my... She's as cold as ice. All right, let's... Oh, yeah, because I spelled that wrong. I got to see if any of you guys have this, which I'm assuming somebody does, but who knows. All right, doesn't look like Troy has it. I'm not sure there actually was a specific thing for it, so... Of course, as you guys are leveling up, if you need any help, let me know. I know, right? Yeah, and I wish Troy was here so he could look in his notes. Because I'm almost certain that you guys got this, but I'm looking for an actual item that may have come in here. And of course, you can't see it anymore once it's been removed from the treasure. Do. Chuck, there's a way that you know of to go back to the original map before you've played with things on the game, is there? Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Okay, so it looked like I wrote this in there for you, so I'm guessing. Yeah, I would not have put that in there if not. So, okay. Let's add this. All right, good. We made a journal entry of this thing at some point, so that's good. That's all good. I wasn't paying any attention. I'm trying to make sure that I'm caught up on what we've got going on, because depending on how you guys went here, we were either going to Yolette or we were going to downtime and things like that. So, with us going to Yolette, that will give us things to do. How you guys coming with your leveling? Very good. And yeah, we'll leave Troy to be able to level himself up. We'll leave Kurz unleveled at the moment as we try to determine exactly what next steps are for this character. Hopefully, Mr. Ultras can make it to us this evening. Yes, I believe you do. No worries. Leveling up is a fun part of this. I don't either. I never have. When I come in here, I start looking at it. I mean, every once in a while, I have an idea of what I want to do going forward, but more often than not, I kind of make my decisions based on what my character would do when it's time to actually level up. Because I mean, I could plan somebody out to 40 or out to 20. I mean, but as my character lives and grows and breathes and does all the things, they may change, and what I want to do may change. And so planning it out that far in advance never makes any sense to me. Hey, Aelos, good evening to you, my friend. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. I'll say, luckily for you guys, I don't think you guys are going to be getting into any fights anytime soon. So the fact that you'll have half of your party unleveled shouldn't make too much of an issue. Mm-hmm. You'll get at least one night's rest, if not more than one, as you travel, to your thing. What do you master? It doesn't look like it. I wonder if it's the next level that. It may not be. Could be. But yeah, any of you guys, I'll say, when you've got your spells in, go ahead and take the overnight rest. You can move your hit points up to full for anybody, because you guys have plenty of healing that you could do. Yeah, go ahead. So, I was say, yeah. Generally, it's going to be create a new category. It would have to be prepared. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then the additional one from your hybrid study. Which what is your hybrid study? Inexorable iron. So you get enlarge as well. Tog- yeah. So the third one over from your right. There you go. So you should have three, which again, two of the three are gecko grip, sure strike, or water breathing, and the third one is enlarge. Excuse me. Yeah, you should be able to just drag. You may be able to just drag them over from your studious spells once you've opened up the spell prep. I understand, but once you Yeah, once you've opened the spell preparation, you can switch back over to your other one. Here you go. I'm dragging them in for you. Nope, that should... Oh. And enlarge. Yeah, Sure Strike, I guess, is actually a first rank spell, but you'd use it in your second rank slot there. So there you go. There's all of them for you. So enlarge has to be one. And then your choices. Tiny clinging hairs sprout across the creature's hands and feet. No. No, and the issue would be because you have the additional spell slot from your hybrid, I would think you have to take that. No, the hybrid is enlarge. So you could take Gecko Grip twice, you could take Sure Strike twice, or Water Breathing twice, but you can only take enlarge once. At least that's the way I read it. And GM Fiat says I get to win. To your regular spells. Yep. There's quite a few choices in there. And so again, if it's uncommon or rare, you're going to need to ask if you can add it first. It's changing the list. Yeah, I mean, you're going to find some good stuff in fourth. I mean, you don't need to choose it right this minute or anything like that if you don't want to. If you want to, be able to take some time to go through them. Yeah, and again, feel free to add that, when you want to. Like I said, just make sure that if it's uncommon or rare, just ask me before you add it. All right. So you guys have chosen to go to Yeled. All right. I did lead you here. Bum, 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 ching. All right. So Yeled is the largest city in Geb. So there is plenty to do there if you guys so desired to. Again, we're not in a rush to get some of this stuff started. So if you wanted to go to Yeled and you wanted to do some shopping first, you wanted to explore the town, anything like that, you are welcome to do so. I'm not going to say that you guys have to jump right into the gameplay. Of course. All right, so it did. So all right, let's try posting that. I believe it should have given you the things to identify it. Look at you go with a critical success. No. You identified this. It is a striking double-barreled musket. It has two side-by-side barrels. Though less accurate than a standard musket, a double-barreled musket offers versatility and firing options. All right, you can try. It takes a crafting check to identify this next one. Dang, you've got a high crafting. Yeah, you rolled a 3. And you have no issues identifying it. As in, if you rolled anything other than a 1, you would have identified it. So this is the Arquebus. It's a long-range rifle that offers more range than your average firearm. The long barrel and ferocious kickback make the weapon particularly unsteady, unless a tripod or other stand is used to stabilize it. Once again, a crafting check. Once again, if you roll anything other than a 1, you will identify it. Ooh, it rolled off of the 1. You identified it. It is a flintlock pistol. Though less accurate and powerful than a flintlock musket, the pistol is the preferred weapon of privateers thanks to its more compact size and affordability. You just didn't know exactly what it was until you examined it. It's not like you guys are experts on firearms or something. Because you're not. You'll again, like I said, you had to roll anything other than a 1 to identify it. Wrong game. I have the check up there for you. I don't honestly know. So I would say I'm going to be fine either way. It's a crafting check. You may go ahead with it. You rolled a 2 and succeeded by 4. Again, we're not talking that some of this stuff is ultra rare or anything. So these are just rounds for the double-barreled musket. That's it. That's all you needed to know. Probably. However, you rolled yourself a 1. So you have failed to identify the item, but can try again. No, like I said, it put it as a failure because technically you succeeded, but because you got a 1, it lowers it by 1. Congratulations, you succeeded. So those are rounds for the arquebus. These are the rounds of the tank. The rounds of the tank. Go ahead. Congratulations. These are rounds for the pistol. I think it's because it's alchemical in order to craft them. This is identify alchemy, and again, it's a crafting check, so. You succeed. This is giant scorpion venom. Crafting check. Ooh, you failed. However, you can try again because you did not critically fail. Same. You failed again. He could critically fail on this one if he rolled a 1. But he eventually did not. Yeah, it was just a question of whether you were going to roll high enough or roll a 1 first. This is a Leaper's Elixir, greater. There are some checks for you. Arcana, nature, religion, or occultism. Not a problem. You identify the bag of holding type 2. It was told me that there was still one item left to be... No. There is another item that has to be identified, but one of you guys is holding it, and it's somebody who's not here, so... Technically it is on Troy, which you have access to, so... Yes, well, yeah, it may update that when I actually can update everything when I go to version 13. But right now, it still calls it a bag of holding in my stuff. So... under the treasure. Yes, she does. So give it a chuck. From the party sheet. Let's go to the treasures on Amisra. And there should be an unusual treasure. All right. Go ahead. And not a problem. It is Nepenthe's Heartstone. Now only a non-magical diamond set in a golden ring. You guys remember where you got that from. All right, that is everything identified. School hide armor. Yep. Are any of you guys elves? Amisra is. I think Amisra should wear it. Because the ghoul hide hisses with sibilant hatred at the touch of elves. When worn by a creature with the elf trait, the armor gains the noisy trait. She puts on... That's kind of hilarious. Yep, I do remember why your armor is broken. Because you fought an iron hag. Oh yeah, she went ahead and that and the other things that just cast clouds that destroyed our armor. Oh yeah, armor. Probably not. I think you have to have magical crafting in order to repair it, right? Let's see. Well, hold on. What is it that makes it magical? I wouldn't think so because what attacked you attacked metal. It didn't attack like a gemstone or something, which is kind of what I would assume a rune is. I mean, there is an attempt to repair item on there. What happens if you click it? Well, I mean, I can guarantee you that when you guys get to Yaled, you can find a repair kit in a shop there with no issues. I'm not sure. Let's see. Where is a regular? Oh, there it is. I just dragged one onto free captain. I believe I dragged one. Yeah, there's one on free, Captain. Yeah. Under equipment, very bottom. Because, like I said, if it was truly no, because it damaged the highest level of item. Yeah, why is my hero point thing not working? Let me see something. Do you remember where the hero point tracker was at in here, Chuck? In which module? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, yeah, and enable the hero point handler. So why isn't it? It's Control H, so it should be working. It might be. There might be something that's. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now, and it's not popping it up. Oh, there we go. Because everybody should have add. Yeah, because we've definitely been in here over an hour. All right, so that should have just added. That should have just added one to everybody. All right, so you've healed your item. Okay, so you can remove your additional thing that you put on there broken. Good. Okay. Oh yeah, it must have been the resilient part of it that was making it. But yeah, I would think with the runes, you're fine to be able to still repair it. I think for me, magical repairs would be an actual just, this is only a magical item. I'm trying to repair a wand. I would need to be able to repair, a magical item in order to be able to do that. But your armor, right, your armor, it's got the runes on it. We can take and remove those at any point in time, even from broken armor. Therefore, you're just repairing the armor. At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Yeah, basically it's just going to look like a gem, I believe, to everybody else. No! What? Although the large pieces of human skin, which is probably why you guys had it, these pieces of human skin are inscribed with the magical rituals Kepgetta knows. Create undead zombies and create undead crawling hands. Yeah, I accidentally clicked. I was gonna say I accidentally clicked on it, and it was like, oh, there are things. And I think, yeah, those are actually rituals to create one rather than just summoning one. I doubt it. Those are all things from. Yeah. I mean, those I would hang on to for now. I don't know that you need them because you guys have already killed Sani, Bride of the Sea. Okay, that did not. I did not actually sell it. The treasures? Yes. Huh. And when I'm dragging it over, it's not having it sell it right away. So let me see. That's what I did. So like right now the gold is at 740. If I drag this over, it didn't change it at all. Yeah. Not that I see. There's distribute coins, add and remove coins. I could do it next to the treasures, but it's not letting me do it next to merchants. No idea. Maybe it only stacks up to a certain. It may only stack up to a certain amount, then flip over. I don't know. That's... maybe. I'm just trying to see if I have an ability to... I just dragged this person out here. No, that's actually like a creature. Yeah, go ahead and just add it and have it, and then we'll take it out. I don't know why it's not. Because this person's set as a merchant. That's halved. So you said 1,020 gold? So 2 silver pieces, 5 copper. 510. Yep. All right, and then I'll go ahead and distribute this out to everybody. Nope. There you go, distributed. There was 1 copper. I said there was 1 copper that could not be distributed. Yeah, I told it to split it out as it needed to. So hey. You're like 1 platinum. Woohoo! Yeah, I'm not concerned about that unless you ever get to the point where you're like, I'm hauling around 500,000 copper. Okay, we're gonna add some weight to you. Yeah, right. Well, it was 500,000 copper, so 50,000 silver, 5,000 gold. So we're not talking a lot of money there. But that's like the I want to pay my fine in pennies. All right, so that takes care of that, unless there's any inventory you guys have that you want to sell. Hmm. No, it's too late. That's the one that you just created yourself. It is worth 1 silver. And that's only because you're in a large town and you can find somebody who wants to look at them and be like, ooh, this is kind of cool. Congratulations, you can have 2 silver. There's going to be a reload here for a second, guys. I told you there was. I warned you. I think I added it to where you should be able to sell now. So let me try something. Okay, yep. All right, so it did make it to where I can sell stuff now. Yeah, I'm removing those coins because I gave you guys the battle loot so I could sell it. All right, yeah, there was a button I needed to enable for better merchant. That, of course, I know I had enabled at one point and it was gone. So, all right. Anything else that you guys want to buy, sell, anything else at the moment? And we haven't heard from Ultras at all, so right? No. I don't know. You guys had an exciting last couple of games, and then this game is a little bit more of a just normal, let's actually get crap done game. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's only 500 gold pieces. It's not like it's, expensive or anything. You should probably just get an adamantine ingot. Just a full ingot. It's only 5,000. I believe it is, yeah. Which is probably rather expensive. There's too many greater things. Oh, yeah. Yeah, situationally. I mean, if you guys have enough, I will let you get the mythic weapon potency. I would. I know I'm nice like that. Yeah, it's 70,000 gold pieces. Are you saying you don't have enough for that? Yeah, right. I'm reading about Yeled. While the capital of Mercantor at least presents a veneer of civility to the living, the few living beings in Yeled who aren't Twilight Sages or minions of a powerful undead soon find a quick end. Undead NPCs begin with an attitude 2 steps worse than usual toward such characters. And while hostile citizens might simply wish you ill in other nations, in Yeled they're very likely to try to eat you. Go Yeled! Oh, I love it. I just love some of the descriptions. They are going to try to eat you. Yeah. All right. So, as a reminder, there should be a journal entry in there that you guys can read for Guessman's Pocket. Do you guys see that? So I'm gonna make a reminder for you guys to go ahead and read through this again before we go to Yeled. Being that it has been a hot minute since we did that. All right, and when you guys are ready, we can get started. All right, so you guys decide to travel to Yeled and engage with Nethnelma, who you guys have heard about, that she is a hag that is working at the Twilight Castrum. The necromancy school is on the outskirts of Yeled in a neighborhood known as Three Gates. This name comes from a plaza outside the school surrounded by 3 cemeteries, each accessed by a single gate. These cemeteries are also bustling commercial and residential zones catering to students. Each also contains an upscale hotel. So the 3 places in the 3 hotels, because in case you want a place to stay, the 3 hotels are good choices for you. So the 3 hotels are the Holstali Hostel, a humble but well-maintained inn that stands on the eastern edge of the Three Gates Plaza. Hostali Hostel is supported by the reanimators, so skeletons and zombies perform much of the work. You have the Queen's Loft. It's a stately hotel north of the Three Gates Plaza that caters to affluent travelers and merchants, and thus has a long-standing relationship with the Export Guild. A statue of Arzani stands proudly in the center of the lobby. And finally, there is the Harrow House. The Harrow House is on the plaza's southern side and is chic and fashionable in the style of Geb, newly constructed and surrounded by statues of Urgathoa, clad in extravagant outfits. And then again, Yeled is Geb's largest city, and so you guys are free to do any shopping, anything like that in the city. But by and large, where we are going to center this chapter around will be the Three Gates Plaza area. But if you guys want to go into Yeled and do things, you just let me know, and we can do so. You are not in a new module, you're in a new chapter. You're actually, I want to say, in the last chapter of this module. Because we are in the Grave Claw module, and so we are starting into the last chapter of the Grave Claw module. This is module 2 of Bloodlords. So again, you have a humble hostel, you have a stately hotel, and you have a chic and fashionable hotel. The stately hotel, catering to affluent travelers and merchants. 5 gold. It's brand new. It might be. Well, the Urgathoa statue didn't jack with you a little bit. It just happened to have a statue there. The little minions in that room. One gold per night. I mean, it is still a It is still a hostel, so it is a humble but well-maintained inn. I imagine you can get some of those things, and if you can't get it directly there, Yaled will have bathhouses and things like that that you could choose to go to as well. You will be able to find yourself a bath if you want to. All right, so as then I will wait for Mike before I continue. Okay. So as you guys enter the Three Gates Plaza, as you look around, you can see that the Three Gates neighborhood is lively. There's students carrying books as they come and go from residential lodgings in the three cemeteries. Shops sell clothing bearing the Tower and Moon logo of the Twilight Castrum. Several cafes on the plaza are open, with skeletons pouring coffee, tea, or more rarefied drinks for customers. And you hear, "Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! Yes! Over here!" The voice is familiar. Bloodlord Berlin Haldali sits in the deep shadows beneath an awning at a round table with two men. "Fancy seeing you here? I don't spend all my time in Great Urge, of course. Business, you know. It simply never ends. Sit down, I'll introduce you. Never too early for a little networking, am I right? Of course I'm right." Berlin welcomes you and gives you each a sponsorship token, allowing you to move freely about Yaled, and introduces you to her companions. "Bloodlord Kyril Vonth," she says first, gesturing to a tall and emaciated wight with lanky white hair and eyes of crimson fire. "These are the people you were telling me about in the report of your agent Gishkar. Yes, at Sallow Shore. Well, I told you I knew them, and here they are." Kyril greets you with formality, evaluating each of you as Berlin gives your names. Then Berlin gestures to another person, a handsome and slender man whose open robe shows off his muscular chest. "And of course, it's an honor to present Bloodlord Zithni. We've all heard much about the celebrants lately, and Lord Zithni is tied to them. Yes, your star is ascending, my lord." Zithni, in contrast to Kyril, is affable and casual, welcoming you and offering to buy you whatever drink you may desire. "After all," he says, "you only live once, eh?" Zithni finds all of his own jokes enormously funny. And Berlin gestures you guys into some chairs and pulls over some additional chairs so you guys can sit down at the table with them. And so let me give you the names. I'm going to put them into chat for a second, so that way you guys can just have an idea what those names are. They are both bloodlords. Lords Zithny and Lord Kyril Von. And so here is where, if you guys want to ask any questions, talk to the Bloodlords, get to know them at all, this is your time. Berlin is, yes. Yeah, Berlin is the... Yeah, Berlin is the Bloodlord that you guys met at the very beginning of the game, who helped to give you the mansion that you guys own. Well, tell me, what brings you to Yoled? Yes, but why Yoled? Of course. We are all friends here. And she'll give a small nod. And who is it you seek in Yoled? Well, hold on. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Boop, delete. Remember, the person that you're actually seeking is this person. This is who you guys found that the ingredients were being sent to. So, Nathnelma. So, Berlin shakes her head and says, I do not know who this person is. But the other two Bloodlords seem to know her well, and do identify her as a grave hag. So, if anybody would like to give me a perception check... Yeah. I did put the check in there that you can click on, by the way, Chuck. Of course. That's fine. That's fine. Amisra is the only one who manages to catch it, but Amisra, feels that, based on, the way that Kyril is speaking about Nathnelma, that he's suspicious and resentful towards Nathnelma. But, he is kind of closed off and doesn't seem overly friendly with you guys. Zithny is much more open about his feelings. Oh, how I hate that dreadful and vicious old hag, he bellows before downing a glass of wine-laced blood. At my first social outing as a bloodlord, she waited until I was in front of our King Geb himself before calling me a dagger-toothed dandy. And I quote, a perfumed leech. Now, yes, that was centuries ago. But what good is undeath if one can't hold a grudge for all time? I wish she'd choke on her own eye. Her position as a visiting professor is up to renewal this month, and I intend to use all my leverage to ensure she's cast out on her bony behind. So he does elaborate that she is being hosted by the Twilight Castrum, and as he has donated a considerable sum to the school, which is naming a building on campus after him. Yes, the Zithny Hall for Vampiric Studies has a very flattering ring to it, don't you think? I'll say, when you guys do reveal that you have been seeking Nethnoma as part of the poisoning plot, Berlin beams with pride, insisting that setting you against Iron Tavia and Axenwood was such a brilliant idea, as you've admirably unwound the spool of that coven right to here. I believe you can move around openly. Now, if you'd like, you may come and visit me. Well, you are here. I am staying at the Harrow House. For now, until it gets boring. You may visit me at any time. I love entertaining, and Yuled has such sights to offer. Such stimulation. If you want to swim with the Bloodlords, he adds with a wink, you have to get used to the sharks. He's a vampire. Yes. And yeah, so yeah, Cathil was a, he's a white. And, let's see, so this is a picture of Zithny. And this is a picture of Kyril. I know, he looks pretty badass, doesn't he? After Zithny admits that he is staying at the Harrow House, he does let you know. Actually, let's see. Let's find this out first. If somebody would like to make an impression on Kyril, I mean, he's let you know, or he says that he's staying at the Queen's Loft, but just abruptly cuts off there. I am staying at the Queen's Loft. And that's it. That's all he tells you. But if you'd like to make an impression. All right. Zook manages to succeed. So you get him to open up a little bit during the conversation, and he provides you with his room number and suggests that you visit him at the loft, where we might get to know one another better. Berlin lets you know that she is staying at the Holstali Hostel. It's quiet, she says. I like the quiet. And they let me keep Glorinsa and Reacher with me at all times. And then she gestures with a finger to have Juliana come closer for a minute and whispers in her ear. And it's a good choice for travelers on a budget. No, that was the place you guys were staying. That's the low-end one. It's the hostel. That's why it's good for travelers on a budget. So as you guys continue your conversation, Zithny encourages you guys to keep on digging into information to find out if Nelma is actually up to anything sinister and anything that might help to get her tenure at the Twilight Castrum severed. After all, it's what that grave hag deserves. He does let you know that Nathnelma holds occasional public lectures, and the next is scheduled very soon. Both Zithny and Kyril suggest that you guys may want to attend, as both of them would like to know what you think about the hag after you've seen her in person. As the conversation winds down, the Bloodlords stand and make courteous goodbyes. Very good. Berlin knows where Kyril and Zithny are staying, and you guys have already found that out. She also provides some advice. It never hurts to check in on a Bloodlord and see how you might be helpful. Sometimes all they want is pleasant company. And what do you have to lose? I mean, besides that. She doesn't explain what that is, giving only a knowing look. Yeah, that was my guess. Nobody else seems to be paying any particular attention to you. Other than the fact that it's a group of Bloodlords that are, sitting around talking to people. But, other than just casual curiosity, nobody is, showing any terrible amount of interest in you. Amisra still has enough to level up, and so does Kurz. And so for meeting with those Bloodlords and finding out some more information, you guys all got 80 experience points. So now you have multiple choices of things that you can do. So you've been told about a public lecture that is coming up that you could choose to attend. You have been invited to visit with both Lord Zithny and with Kyril Vonth. You also have that other gentleman who was in the journal, Maldor Gavik, who you may want to check in on. Mm-hmm. So, it is completely up to you as to what you'd like to do from here. Yeah, both of the Bloodlords have invited you to come and visit with them. Really, we didn't dictate what time of day you got to Yaled. I mean, you guys have arrived, you guys have gotten to your stuff. So I'm not going to say, I mean, really, it could be any time of day that you guys want it to be, because once again, we're not in a time rush on this. You guys can choose to take your time on things. You guys can choose to do other things. It's completely up to you. Is he? Oh, he is. Now is he going to go ahead and join us? Oh, I know he's in the game. I was waiting to see if he's going to join us in Discord. Well, I'll wait until he's actually in here and he finds out that his character died and we re-rolled one for him. Oh, by the way, so as a quick recap, you guys escaped successfully from Pagked, like inches ahead of the mob that was coming to kill you. Yeah, it's not like you guys killed the person in charge of them or anything like that. Nothing like that. No. And then these two, spent some time leveling up. We sold pretty much everything in the party sheet, because it wasn't needed anymore. And you guys have chosen to travel to Yeled. Well, in Yeled, you guys have met a couple of new bloodlords introduced to you by Berlin. And they were Lord Zithny and Lord Kyril Vonth. And that's a quick synopsis of what we've done for the last 2.5 hours. No. There have been no fights tonight whatsoever. Just the end of the fight as you guys ran away like cowards before the mob of a town. Yeah, I get it. And so you guys have arrived in Yeled. It is the largest city in Geb. So pretty much anything that you guys want to do or anything else is here. Anything that you want to buy, we can probably find somewhere. After your guys' introduction with Berlin and the other two, you have been given a couple of options forward. You can go to a public lecture being given by Nethnelma, the grave hag that you guys are here to investigate. You can go and spend an evening with Lord Zithny. You can go and visit with Lord Kyril Vonth. There is also, from a previous journal entry that you guys had found, actually at Iron Tavia's cottage, you know that there is a Carter's Consortium member of the name of Maldor Gavik in Yeled that you guys may want to talk to. And so again, where you guys decide to go from here is where you decide to go from here. At least you're here and it's not 1 o'clock in the morning. So while Troy works on doing what he's going to do, what would you guys like to do? That's kind of racist. All right, let's see. Do I have a map for anything in Gilead? No, not really. I was just taking off all of the different abilities. If you're supposed to have it, you can put it back on. It had a time limit on it, so I removed it. But you can, if you would recast it, recast it and put it back on. But because it's a level 1 spell, it would take a spell slot each day. Yeah. But like I said, I was just removing everything from everybody because I knew that there was extra stuff that was still sitting on people. And I wasn't sure if that's something that you would cast or if that was something that you would wait and see if you were getting into combat before you cast it. So, all right. Yeah. So you guys have decided... Oh, and let me go ahead and share this again for Troy. This is Kyril Vonth, Bloodlord. All right, and so you guys would like to go and visit with him at his request? All right. So you are going to visit Kyril Vonth at the Queen's Loft. So Kyril lives alone and travels light. You find him reading a historical treatise in the hotel lobby, the statue of Arizani looming over him. He replaces his bookmark, stands, and greets you. I thought we might get to know each other over a game. Do you know the rules to Blood Price? I assume you guys don't, so Blood Price is an economic strategy board game simulating Geb, its factions, and the machinations of the Bloodlords. Kyril asks you to join him in the hotel library, where a copy of the game is available for guests to use. Would you like to go and play with him? Yes, the next sentence is, if the characters refuse, he bids them goodnight, judging them to be spineless. So as some of you are interested in playing, he leads you to the library. So each one of you, and you'll keep track of this yourself, you're going to keep track of your own points in this. So each character who plays the game selects one of Geb's factions. Kyril, of course, plays the Export Guild. During the game, each player begins with a starting position on the board, a special ability, a unique victory condition, and a bank of resources, all decided by your factions. The great factions have the most powerful starting positions, but the game is balanced so the lesser factions can be victorious. Players make deals with each other, trading resources and establishing alliances. Any player might win, but a joint win by players who work together is more likely. So yes, you guys would want to pick your factions. Berlani. She is with the Reanimators. Yeah, let's see. Factions of Gab. Let me just go to here. So we have the Builders League, we have the Celebrants, we have the Export Guild, we have the Reanimators, we have the Tax Collectors, and we have the Carter's Consortium. All right. All right. If you'd also like to pick one for Kurz, and Troy, if you would like to pick one for yourself. Pick a faction. You can pick from the Celebrants, the Tax Collectors Union, or the Carter's Consortium. Very good. Fantastic. All right. My understanding is it actually makes absolutely zero difference in some of this. So, Ancestral Paragon may be taken only once. Amisra has taken it 13 times. All right, so we're going to play Bloodlords with each person tracking their own blood points over 6 turns of play. Each turn, a player may attempt a single check with a Deception to bluff, Diplomacy to form or maintain an alliance, Games Lore to master the rules of play, Society to apply knowledge of Geb, Intimidation to make an aggressive play, or Thievery to cheat, such as by pocketing resource markers or manipulating dice. I can. So if you get success on a check, you will earn 1 blood point, 2 blood points on a critical success. There is no penalty for failure, except for one that you may find out about if you fail on it. But I won't go forward from there. So I'm not going to worry about us narrating the rounds of the game. We'll just go ahead and make our checks and go throughout it. During the game, the hotel staff will keep food and drink coming. Now, Kyril is not chatty by nature, but the game will bring out his talkative side. Each round, one player can ask Kyril a question. So as we go through, like I said, each of you guys can keep track of your own blood points in here. Let's see. It's just on a piece of paper, on your computer, on wherever. So like I said, you guys are we're going to play 6 we're going to play 6 total rounds. And in order to win, you have to have 10. You would like me to go first. All right. I will apply my knowledge of Geb with a society check. Oops. I need to be off of a person because he has specific stuff for his skills. Ho ho! And it still did it on Zook for whatever reason. My knowledge of Geb's society has led me forward. I get 1 blood point. Who would like to go next? And then when we get to the end of our round, we'll go ahead and give you an opportunity to ask him a question. No, like I said, I'm not worried about us going through this entire thing. I mean, we could role play it all out, but I'm not making us go through all of that. Private, please. Oh. So you have failed, and you failed on a check to cheat, which is what the thievery check is. Kyril looks at you, shakes his head, and you do not get a blood point this round. Yeah, you did not roll really well. Actually, let me go ahead and reveal this. You guys can make them. Yeah, you guys can make them on the table. I mean, you guys are going to know immediately whether you pass or fail. I was saying, and you don't have to worry. There isn't going to be a fight here. Win, lose, or draw. There's not going to be a fight. So if you have to pause for a minute, it's not going to impact anything. That was a success. So Kurz gets himself a blood point. So Kurz, of course, makes an aggressive play. He looks at the board and goes, "Flurry of blows!" Nope, that is a critical failure. Which, let's see. There's no penalty for failure, so failure or critical failure all works out to the same thing. You just don't get a blood point. It's a D20. All right, that will be a success. So you get a blood point for this round. And now We just need Amisra to make her roll. Deception to bluff, diplomacy to form or maintain an alliance, games lore to master the rules of play, society to apply knowledge of Geb, intimidation to make an aggressive play, or thievery to cheat. And that is a failure. All right, so everybody has rolled. You guys have kept track of your points. And now, who wants to ask a question? I don't know the name myself. I have no information to provide. All right, round 2. And he is, and let me go ahead and post these up again so that way they're up at the top of our thing. And let's see, he did games lore last time, so this time he is going to try to blave. Blave. You know, to bluff. Have you not watched and it's going to make me select a token. Have you not watched Princess Bride? To blave. All right. He succeeds at bluffing and gets another blood point. He said to blave, which is to bluff. And you didn't click the thievery, did you? That's okay. We'll keep that one because it was a pass. All right. So instead, that is a critical success. So you get 2 blood points. Next. That is a success. Does Juliana want to link up with you? Form or maintain an alliance. Well, she doesn't need to. But I would say that if you want to form an alliance with somebody by using diplomacy and they're like, nah, then you can't do it. That's fine. Then you are good to try that one. Then that is a success. That is a blood point. Nope, you have a blood point because you're still going to keep track separately. Correct. Because you can be in more than one alliance. So you could be in an alliance with every single person, but you can't have more than 2 people in an alliance. So if you were teamed up with Juliana and then you teamed up with Kurz, you're not adding your blood points together, but it's 2 separate alliances. All right, then I believe it's Kurz's turn. Nope, Kurz went. Nope, Kurz went. It's Amisra's turn. Let's see. Is that your first society check or is that your second one? No, you did a deception. Yeah, but you did. Was it society both times? Okay. Then that is a failure. It does. The DC goes up by 1 each time. A question. Who's asking? He will look at you, shake his head, and refuse to answer. So, if somebody else asks that same question, they will get an answer. Juliana, however, because she got caught cheating, he refuses to talk to you. No, somebody else. Like I said, I'm going to let somebody else ask that question if they want to. He's just not going to entertain questions from Juliana. I think so. Well, I don't personally hold much with the Carter's Consortium. They do provide a useful service in town and throughout Geb. All right, round 3. So let's see. He did a deception check, and he has done I want to say a society check. Did he do the first time? Yep. And so he is going to go ahead and apply his mastery of the rules of the game. That was just to master the rules of play. And let me see if I wonder if he's actually out here that I can select. Oh, he is. Good. Because it's not letting me roll some of the stuff on him. Because it's saying he doesn't have games lore. And even here it says he doesn't have games lore, so it's not letting Yeah, let me see if I... Helps if I spell games right. That is a... So let me see if that lets him roll it now. Ah, it does. Okay. And he gets a critical success on his games lore. So he is up to 4 blood points. Next. That is a critical success. It is not. It's hard to stealth in a game where everybody's sitting around. That is a success. I'll say that's his second intimidation check, right? Or is that his third? Might be his third. Even if no matter what, he would still succeed. Because he made it by 2. Zook. That is a success. Amisra. That is a success. You have blaved. Your next question. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who asks the question, really. There are 6 total rounds to the game, so you guys are going to get 6 total questions. Are you talking about Nathnelma? The hag? The one that you guys are really here looking for? Hold on. All right, let's go back. So what to do? Yes, Nethnelma is a grave hag, as we have mentioned before. She has purchased uh, large quantities of magical ingredients through the Export Guild. Now, after reading the reports from Gishkar, I do suspect that Nethnelma was cooperating with Sani to cheat the guild and Geb for hundreds, perhaps thousands of blood pieces. Next turn, he is going to try to use his games lore again. Oh, and he fails. That is a success. Curse. Because why not? Yeah. That is a success. Zook. All right. That is a failure. And it is a failure only because it's your second society roll. Amisra. That is a failure. That is a success. Remember, you get the plus 10 for low roll. All right. Next question. I mean, yeah. There's the Builders League. There's the Reanimators. There's the Tax Consortium, I think it is, and so if I may provide a recommendation, I would. Your main goal of coming to this town is to do what? And who do you suspect is in charge of the poison? So I would say that more questions about her would probably be the way forward rather than just general things that you may be able to find out anywhere. So, like, you know that she is a visiting professor at the Twilight Castrum, and you have been recommended to go to one of her public lectures. And so there are my subtle recommendations for you. I mean, you know she's a grave hag. No. The first question was about somebody completely different. As was the second question. Well, I cannot tell you too much about her, but I do know that she has an office in the Twilight Castrum, as well as maintains a home in the Three Gates community. Castrum. That's the name of the school. All right. In the Three Gates community. Which you guys are basically in the Three Gates community right outside Yaled. Because that's pretty much where all of this stuff takes place. All right. He is going to offer to Kurz an alliance in the game. And he got a critical success. So that moves him up to 6 blood points. Oh yeah, I figured as soon as this game was over, we'd wrap it up and go from there. That is a thievery success. 1 more blood point. That's quite an intimidation ploy. That is, I said, yep, that is a critical failure at the moment. That is a critical success. Because it was a 20, even though it was on a hero point 20. That is a critical success. Kurz. Or Zook. All right. He will accept your alliance request. That is a success. Which, if you guys haven't figured yet, if you haven't rolled it yet, success is a 21. And so each time that you have rolled it, it goes up by 1. All right, Amisra. Basically, it would allow you guys to join your points together for the thoughts of winning the game. Well, it would, because when you get to the end and you join your points together. Yeah, if you wanted to try to do if you want an alliance, you have to roll a diplomacy check. Here, I posted up there for you. Which I'm going to go ahead and post back up the rest of them as well. That is a fail. Here, let me post the rest of these up here. So that way you guys don't have to scroll nearly as far. All right. So this was the end of round 5, correct? All right. So for your next question, you guys are asking what more you know about about any kind of protection that Nethanelma may have, in case you have to go and fight her later. So, I know that she has 2 mummies, agents of the Twilight Castrum, that serve as her valets and reside in her home. So she has 2 mummy companions. Mummy? Have you seen my mummy? All right. And now for his final turn. He is going to make an intimidation play. Oh! Rolls a 20. That gives him a critical success, and he is up to 8 blood points. Juliana. That is a success. So that puts what? Juliana at 7? Kurz. We probably should have just put him to the side, but I didn't want to do that with Troy being out at the start of the game, so... Stop peeing on my furniture! That is a success. I think this was his 5th intimidation check, so he just made it, but it was a success. So that puts him at 7. Zook. That is a failure. So how many did you end up with? And a Misra. That is a success. So that ends you up where? So where did you end up at? All right. So looking at it, he ended up with... Oh, you guys have one question left. So you guys are going to ask if he knows anything more about any of the alchemical stuff that he has been getting, or that the hag has been getting. I do know that she has been securing shadow ash. It is a rare alchemical ingredient from the Palladium, a nearby shrine to Urgathoa. All right. So he had an alliance with Kurz and Zook. What were the other alliances? Was it just Zook and Juliana? Was the only other one? Yeah, I think it was Zook. All right, so it turns out that he and Kurz win with 15 total points. Let's see. 2 more players have it. When the game is over, Kyril rises and congratulates the victor, including his own partner if he formed a winning alliance. He's an excellent sport and respects all winners, unless they cheated. And he glares at Juliana. Recognizing a good game, Kyril gives a gift to the character he believes did the worst in the game. Amisra. This suits you. It seems as you plainly rely on whimsy rather than strategy. So on the table is Kyril's gift. It's on the table. It's a rod of wonder. and so when I click it, there is a thing to be able to roll on it. Draws a result from the Rod of Wonders table. Like I just rolled a 65, which is Fireball. I like it. This thing has an automated table for it. Which just makes it way easier to use. So that's kind of cool. He also rewards you guys with a reputation point for each of you guys that participated, except for Juliana. He's a little salty about people who cheat. And so that will be 3 additional reputation points for... And let me go and find that. That's under Zombie Guide, Faction Reputation. 3 additional points for the Export Guild. So that puts you guys up to 9. I haven't figured out what those do for you yet, but hey, we're keeping track. And before he says farewell to you, Kyril tells you that he wants to question Nathnelma about the scam she and her fellow hags have been running on the Export Guild. He asks you to bring her to him alive once you are done with her. And then you guys... But now he has asked you to bring her to him. So... And for playing and winning... Nope, because you guys played and won all together. If he had won alone, then you guys wouldn't get as much experience, but because he allied with somebody to get it, you guys get 120 experience points. You would have gotten 80 for playing with him if he had won solo. All right, so you guys have found out more about Kyril. You've gotten more information about Nathnelma. And Troy has gotten a Rod of Wonder because he plays with whimsy rather than strategy. And I know we are past time, so we will end there for the evening. Troy, if you still need more time to level up your character, we can leave this open for you. But other than that, we will plan to pick this back up in 4 weeks. Hopefully I will be able to get a hold of our 4th party by then to find out if he still plans on playing in this game, or whether we're going to set him to the side and try to find somebody else, or what we want to do from there. So I will also plan to be up in version 13 by the next game. So just be prepared if things are still slightly wonky, that they could be slightly wonky. But we'll make it through and survive. Other than that, a great game tonight, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed,